We were each like a tree grown in a cage. My neighbors and I slept tucked behind thin gates and thin doors, beneath ceilings, stacked and walled away from nature, all light from moons and planets undetectable through the smog. Up until a year ago, what we met of nature during the day was kept in pots or disguised as breakfast. Most of the time we felt we did not need nature. Some of the time, when it thundered or trembled, we felt that we did not want nature. And some of the time we felt that we did not know what we needed or wanted. We had heard that bad things were in store for nature, the way the oceans are overfished and the skies fouled. But in my city, people are not so horrifiable. We'd seen movies of the future, when the earth is finished being ruined, humans wheezing out some last haggard weeks in cemented tenements, and yet to us these conditions didn't look so strange. We were hard to horrify, living already as if nature were gone. The round earth period can only last so long anyhow, we'd say. The earth used to be flat, and for now the earth is round, but the earth is going to be flat again, faded and flat as a bell that thuds and does not ring. And so it was useless for anyone to try and sign us on with the ranks of the environmentally panicked, or the environmentally conscientious, or even the environmentally uneasy. We were resigned to losing planet Earth, whose silence, whose spaciousness, whose Newfoundland, whose whales were as foreign to us as planet Hufflepuffs over in the next galaxy. Imaginary, or very far away, was how we saw Earth, the thoughts of whose demise brought some folks to weepy shrieks. But while resigned people can be infuriatingly unresponsive to shrieks, they are, in some ways, very easy to enchant. When you expect to lunch on roaches and granite, bread delights you. There was an infirm building across from my apartment that the city finally, 2 years ago, smashed up and carried away, leaving a pitiful square of trash. Then, a year later, they started a park there. The park was pitiful too at first, and since the plants had to endure the winter as infants, my neighbors and I stayed unacquainted with nature for some time. But in the spring, the tender and undefeated thin green fingers emerged from the ground and from the stick trees, and we began to notice the park, even if we were just hurrying by, because bits of it were straying into our paths. In May, some small lilac butterflies started to break up the tedium of road. On my way to catch the bus, road, road, road. On my way back home, road, road, road. On my way to catch the bus, road, 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 road. Butterfly. A butterfly. A giddy looping thing which appeared to be out of its mind. It flew very energetically, but made little progress, flying in weird and impractical patterns. It was not gently, serenely, carefully floating through the air like on greeting cards. This butterfly seemed magnificently crazed. It was as if a creature crawling around on short legs had suddenly obtained light purple wings, and somebody had forgotten to tell it about the training. One morning I saw a tiny frazzled bird running back and forth by the side of the road, tormented by the curb. It must have been prematurely unnested. It couldn't fly, couldn't jump, could only dash, and so all its worried energy was manifested horizontally. It had fallen off the curb and had no way to get back over it. I stopped and picked it up, small, bony, and soft, and left it dashing around in the grass. Whether people need nature or not, it was clear that nature needed people. I'd seen a man picking a straying green-brown beetle up from the road and putting it back in its park. And I'd seen beetles that didn't get picked up from the road. His beetle and my bird absolutely needed people. But perhaps nature needs us like a hostage needs her captors. Nature needs us not to annihilate her, not to run her over, not to cover her with cement, not to chop her down. We can hardly admire ourselves then when we stop to accommodate nature's needs. We are dubious heroes who create a peril and then save its victims, we who rescue the animals and the trees from ourselves. People need nature at times in the same way. Since fire and snakes and storms can so easily make bones of us, we need them to be merciful. But if destructive potential were the only reason that humans and nature needed each other, each would have a reason to be polite, but not much reason to be miserable if the other vanished. Nature, however, seems to inspire in us something more than politeness. On Sunday mornings for a long time, I have taken my chair-bound neighbor Demetrio for walks. Before the park came, we took a look at people visiting the newsstand, people visiting each other, people buying bread. Now that flowers bloom across the street, we look at tall, red, billowy flowers, and Demetrio looks astonished, like he's in love, like an old man in love with a flower. There's a print in our library of a painting by Caspar David Friedrich called Monk by the Sea. Most of the painting is sky, a north brilliant ice blue sky. A small figure stands on ice, looking out across rough black ocean. No boats are heading off, and no boats land. It's not a sea for sailing. It could swell up and suck the man down. The sky could whip around and send him slipping into the water. The ice could crack and float away with him. The scene he inhabits has enough power to terrify and extinguish tens of thousands of monks. Yet the painting is not of monk running away from the sea. And while he is painted with his back to the observer, it's conceivable that he is not standing there screaming. Nature has another power besides the power to terrify. Because it is so empty of human commotion, the painting of the monk used to seem archaic, if not incomprehensible. But even though the proportions are reversed in our neighborhood, and nature is now the vulnerable, quiet one, surrounded by an immense ocean of persons, the sense of the painting has been resurrected for us. For when she is planted across the street, we are fastened with desire. We cannot relinquish butterflies and return to uninterrupted road. We've lost our composure, for the earth is still round, and the earth is still green.